So Michelle, you're a therapist. I want to know more about what is your form or your approach with therapy?
So in my really young days as a therapist, I came across this really beautiful ancient Indian proverb, which says that a human being is like a house with 4 rooms. And each day of your life, even if you just go into each room to air it, it makes you a whole and complete person.
Okay.
So the journey in therapy is to wholeness by working through all the different 4 rooms. One room is your cognitive mind. So it's basically the thoughts that you're thinking. You know, how you approach a problem, how you perceive something, how you solve a problem.
Yeah.
Using the head space. Then you have the emotions that come up. And some part of my therapy involves processing emotions, learning how to regulate emotions.
Yeah.
Emotions can be really beautiful and tolerable and wonderful, but there could be some emotions that really destabilize us. For example, anger. You know, when anger comes, how do we cope with the anger? How do we deal with the anger? Or for example, if sadness comes, you know, or grief.
Yeah.
When you lose somebody. So some part of my therapy involves also processing these emotions. And the third room is the body. You know, we do a lot to care for our body. You know, we might eat right, we might do some yoga, we might exercise. But bringing the body into therapy is cutting edge. A lot of forms of therapy now include the body. And this is not about, you know, just giving the body a massage or exercising the body. There's a solid connection between your thoughts, your emotions, and the physiology. So part of the therapy would be to bring awareness into the body, to work with your emotions, to work with trauma that might come up.
Yeah.
And the 4th room is your higher self or your deeper self. So part of my therapy would also go into the awareness of working through your inner self, so you can feel more connected to your inner guidance, feel more connected to your inner self.
How do you get more connected to your inner guidance?
Well, if you are able to first learn to trust yourself, learn to regulate your emotions so you can come to a space of stillness and to be able to really tune into that inner voice can be really helpful. Wow. So using these 4 rooms, of course, in therapy with different tools and techniques is something that I integrate. So some sessions would be just talking, you know, talk therapy. Some parts could be extremely meditative. Some parts could be just awareness-based, like working through the silence, going deeper and deeper, layer by layer into your psyche, into your system, into the body.
That's so interesting. I just had this scary thought about, do you analyze people when you meet them? You know, like observe silences and their personalities.
No, you know what? Everybody gets scared, you know. That's why when I meet anyone and they ask me, what do you do, Michelle? I say, I'm not, if I tell you, then you can't ask me any questions and you can't think that I'm analyzing you.
Yeah.
We like to be off duty.
Right.
Right?
But do you sometimes just slip into it?
No.
Into overanalyzing or like analyzing someone when you're with them?
No.
Okay.
That's like overtime working. I love work-life balance.
Great.
But yes, of course, you know, it can slip in, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes you are the therapist wherever you go.
Yeah.
But of course, it doesn't mean that we're reading your mind or we're analyzing you or sussing you out. Yeah.
But let's deep dive into that third door that you spoke about, that third room, which was body, right? I think when I think of therapy, I automatically think of the mind. I think of exercising the mind. And I think a lot of conversations I've had are very mind-driven and mind-focused. But I'm really keen to understand, you know, the combination of mind and body. How does that work?
Yeah, that's such a beautiful question. Most of us are actually just living in our headspace. And we're just using our thinking mind to think our feelings away, to solve our problems. But we're actually divorcing from, by overusing the mental faculty, by just using thinking all the time. You're sort of neglecting other parts of yourself.
Okay.
Which can be also used and accessed. Like, for example, now they say you have 3 brains, not just one. The head, the heart, and the gut. Your heart and your gut also have like thousands of neurons.
Right. And tremendous impact.
Impact, of course.
On the way you act or react.
Exactly. So learning how to access body and, it's called as organic intelligence. You know, the body never lies, and how to tap into that. But also, if you just look at emotions and literature, we say my heart really is so broken. When somebody we love passes away or leaves, it's like you can feel, it's a visceral sensation of my heart is opening and breaking. So you can feel that in your body. When you're really scared or you're terrorized by something.
The trembling, the shivers.
Your hands shake, your legs shake, you have sweating. So emotions and also our thoughts can really land in the body in a very visceral experience. Nowadays in therapy, people are not only coming to deal with their psychological concerns, but also their physical ailments. There's a strong psychosomatic component, isn't it? A lot of unresolved trauma, unresolved emotions, a lot of our habitual patterns sometimes can lead to certain kind of ailments that we experience. So many people are coming because they have IBS, chronic fatigue syndrome. All kinds of other, some people who have cancer also want to come and work through their, emotional selves, to work on their emotional body. The trauma sometimes is maladaptively stored in your physiology. And it affects your nervous system in a particular way. So therapy would focus a lot on how to heal that trauma in your body, how to work with these emotions that are coming up all the time using the physiology. And there are certain kind of body approaches that can really help with that. So working with your thoughts is important, but also bringing the somatic experience. And many people are very curious about, why am I feeling
But would you
this
say
way?
you work with mind and body with everyone, with all your clients?
Yes, I would say so.
Okay.
Because I think it's a very important part. Otherwise, we're just like, it's like we're guillotined and we're just living like this. But we're living in the body. And the body is a storehouse of so much. Of wisdom, of healing. There's a lot of potential here. So, initially when I started therapy, it was mostly just working with the headspace.
Right.
And this kind of an approach is called like the top-down approach. You think, you change your thoughts, which is very powerful, and then you change the way you feel, and then you change your behavior.
Your body language, your confidence. I mean, all of that is reflected in your body too, right?
Absolutely. And the other approach is the bottom-up approach, which is instead of going with the headspace, because sometimes, we all reach a situation in our life where we say we just can't think. We can't think, we're just so frozen in our thinking, or we're just looping in our thoughts, thinking the same thing again and again and again. And we don't know what to do when we feel like our body is going through a hijack of intense emotions. So here is the bottom-up approach can really help to work with whatever is manifesting first in your physiology, like whatever, suppose you have a stiff shoulder, tennis elbow, a constant tightness in your chest. And by sort of working with that in therapy, then we go to the mind to get insights. But you'll be, I was very surprised. The minute when I started working with the body in therapy, I would find that insights just arrive without thinking. And also, if you work something through the body, you can translate that insight into action better. Otherwise, sometimes we all know in our mind, this is something we need to change. This is something we need to do. Let's take an example of an emotion that one kind of doesn't want to look at or blocked, and how that can impact us. So if I'm holding my hand in a fist right now, really tight, would you feel I can experience any tension here?
No.
Not so much, right? What if I hold it like this for an hour?
Yeah.
What if I hold it like this for a day, months,
more.
years? So there's a knot here in my body and I'm not paying attention to it, I'm not looking at it, but it can stay like this. And soon it'll start to drain my energy. I'll start to feel exhausted. I'll start to feel tired. And sometimes when we don't process certain things, it can stay trapped in our body.
Right.
But the brain is such a beautiful organism. The minute you bring your attention to this knot and just notice it, I automatically open my fist. And in this way, just by paying attention to what's happening in your body, especially with your emotional processes and not kind of ignoring an emotion but facing it in the body, can release the tension and open up the knots. And hence, you feel lighter and more resilient. And like this, by working with the body with different kinds of, experiences, different kinds of emotions, different kinds of trauma, it can cause a deep healing, not only, psychologically, but sometimes also physically.
Yeah. That's great. Vishal, thank you so much. This was, so beautifully brought together. and just brought a lot of realization and understanding. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.